Hello, welcome to Skill Check, the positive gaming podcast from YMC Exeter. My name is Andy.
And my name is Becky, and Andy didn't give me no warning that he was hitting record then, so I'm not prepared.
I said there was something about hitting record and needing to record, and then I hit record.
Without giving me any warning.
At some point, I'm fairly certain there are warnings about being being given.
He needs, to say action, I think.
Oh, we should do that.
Yeah, next
do that
time.
in future. So apart from feeling under pressure and stressed and
suddenly thrown at me,
thrown in front of camera.
Yep.
How are you?
I'm alright.
You're allowed to say. You almost have a voice.
I know. I'm way less croaky than I was last week. I can almost talk normally again. Woo!
If you missed last week's episode, probably best to just not go
skip
back.
It,
just skip it.
I just groped my way through it. I'm still slightly croaky, but I'm way better than I was.
You get it.
Yeah. I mean, it will be a thing. So I think we've got 2 more weeks left. Is that right? And then we're going to go and have a little break.
Something like that, yeah.
So we'll see whether I get my voice back before we go on a little break.
I did say that this is going to be our season finale.
Did you actually?
Yeah, last week. No, I didn't say that this was going to be the whole kind of plot of the season finale being if you're going to get your voice back in time for summer.
Yeah, I see. Yep. Cliffhanger.
But anyway.
Yep.
If you're still with us, well done.
What have we got coming up?
Oh, you asked me first. So it's for summertime.
Yep.
A regular conversation that seems to come up is how do you manage screen time, gaming, and things like that around summertime. So we're going to look at that. We're going to look at a very retro game in the Game of the Week. But first things first, we have gaming news. Gaming news.
So our first piece of gaming news this week is artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence will lead to more jobs in the video games industry, one body that representing video games developers has said. Dr. Richard Wilson, boss of TIGA, says that AI will reduce the cost of making games and speed up the process. But many games makers are saying that AI will cost jobs and create legal issues for studios. Despite conversations now focusing on how AI is being used to create games, the technology itself is not a new thing. The game Pac-Man used a form of AI to tell the ghosts in the game how to move and behave. Being able to quickly create hundreds of pages worth of script, voice, background, characters, or draw thousands of pieces of art could be a game changer for the industry, according to some senior figures.
2 points.
Mm-hmm.
One, I love the idea that actually AI is not a new tech.
Yeah.
Because this seems to be the year of talking about artificial intelligence.
It does, yeah.
With ChatGPT, Bard, Blue Willow, Midjourney, so on and so forth.
The SAG-AFTRA strikes in America, that's all to do with AI.
Yeah, totally. And so it's good to be reminded that this isn't really a new tech.
Yeah.
It just seems to have reached a tipping point now.
I think it's not new tech, I think it's how they're using it that's new.
And on that note, actually, Dr. Richard Wilson, brave lad.
Yeah.
To come out and say this, because there is a lot of concern right now over people's jobs.
Yeah.
And fair enough, if you are doing a job and then when you walk in and see a technology that could easily replace you, I would want to have some sort of safeguards in place.
Yeah.
And understanding around that as well.
Yeah.
So,
so it's interesting. So a lot of the discussions are around background actors. I mean, it's not so much with gaming, but it's one of those things where it's whether your image could be used without your permission. If a company, and that is relevant to gaming, and a company could buy your image and then put it in a game without your knowledge, and you wouldn't get paid for it. So that is, it's a bit of an issue, and it's obviously
that was seen on the Steam store the other week.
We have discussed. I think this is going to be it's definitely going to be an ongoing thing. It seems to be lots of stuff that's come up now. I think
2023, the year of AI.
So it will be interesting to see if they put in rules to sort of mitigate against it. So Yes, our second piece of gaming news is Live by You. This made me really excited because I didn't know this was in existence, and then I was Googling things and I was like, oh, this is going to be fun. Live by You, a game that is set to rival The Sims, has been delayed until 2024. It will be an open world game that allows players to take direct control of in-game avatars and uses real language to let them communicate. Development of the game is being headed up by Rod Humble, who was the head of the EA Sims label for years. The release of the game had originally been planned for September this year, but has now been pushed back to March 2024 in order to allow creators more time to improve the game's visuals and user interface.
Good.
Yeah.
Good news.
I mean, it is interesting,
Push
isn't
back the game. Well, if we've learned anything from Zelda,
and
is that pushing back games
Star
can be a good
Wars.
thing. Looking at you, Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
Yeah, I mean, so I think we're sort of learning that actually now people would rather have it released later with less bugs.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like people want to have a game that they paid money for actually working.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, this is a
Look
good
at you
thing.
again, Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
Some of the reviews for the original footage of this game weren't great, so
Okay.
it will be good to see them improving the visuals. I'm excited because everyone knows I love The Sims. That is like one of my original computer games. So I'm excited to see, so the company said that The Sims have been unrivaled for many years, and it really has.
Yeah,
It
this
has that
is
as
apparently the
monopoly.
game that is going to have a
Yeah.
good aim at The Sims
Yeah.
and good aim at replacing The Sims
Yeah.
as its own
role-playing game. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what it's called. Yeah. So I think we'll see. I'm excited for it. It should be a good game.
Yeah.
I'll be the one that's reviewing it though, because probably
I'm going to look forward to it.
it's my kind of game. I love that kind of game. Our final piece of gaming news is PlayStation Plus. PlayStation Plus have announced their free games that will be available for August with with PlayStation Plus subscription. With a PlayStation Plus subscription, games that have been announced include PGA Tour 2K23, It Takes Two, and Death's Door. The announcement of the games was greeted with negativity by some fans, as it also came as Sony announced that they were removing 10 beloved games from the platform once the update rolls out. The games leaving the platform include The Crew 2, Borderlands, Carmageddon, Max Damage, and I can't even say that, Yakuza?
Yeah.
Kiwami 1 and 2. Players will have till the end of the month to play the games before having to pay to have them back. They were more upset about the fact that Yakuza...
It is a little bit, check out these nice new games. Oh, ignore all these awesome games we're taking away.
Yep.
Welcome to gaming subscription services, I guess.
I don't have a gaming subscription service at PlayStation Plus, but my sister and my brother-in-law play It Takes Two, and they love it.
It Takes Two is meant to be an awesome game.
Yeah, so I was excited. So if you've got a PlayStation Plus subscription and looking for a good game, It Takes Two is coming to PlayStation Plus in August, and it should be great. It's a really good game.
It's meant to be great for couples.
Yes,
to play.
Yeah, it's about parents.
Yes.
Who get shrunk by their child.
Yes.
And then it's trying to get back to being big again so they can look after their child.
And if any of that sounded confusing to you, that's absolutely fine. That means you're a normal person. But it also gives you a reason to go play the game to find out exactly what on earth went on.
Yeah. And that's the end of gaming news. So, it's the summer holidays.
It's the summer holidays.
Yeah.
And what seems to be almost a classic, almost a traditional topic for this time of year, if my Facebook memories are anything to go by, is talking about how to kind of handle the whole kind of gaming, so like how many hours per day should kids / older people play on games.
Is that what you're planning to do with your time off? Andy, just sit and play games all day?
There might be an element of it if I get a chance. But anyway, it seems to be a concern that comes up on a yearly basis now. And I guess that is an okay thing because we are becoming an increasingly digital society, and we're kind of looking for kind of ways to kind of discuss this and to try and work our way through what this means. So, with all of that in mind, we've got 3 tips on how to kind of help handle kind of kids and gaming.
Okay.
All right. Now, before I say anything more, I am a parent. Disclaimer. I also don't get anything right in my parenting skills. That's right. I didn't say I don't get it all right. I said I don't get anything right. So quick disclaimer.
Just quick disclaimer. Yeah.
So 3 tips for engaging with young people in gaming. Tip number 1, bring gaming into public space.
Yeah.
What I mean by that is to either move it away from the bedroom, bring it into a lounge, or maybe have an evening or 2 throughout the week where, as a family unit, you game together.
Yeah.
You share that experience and you all game.
And we have both talked about like benefits of that. You play with your daughter. I don't have any kids, but we have kids in our family, and so we play with the kids we have in our family, and the sort of shared experience of gaming actually quite enjoy. So that's definitely, and it's a really good way to bond with like a child or a young person that really likes gaming. Totally. Is for you to play it yourself. And
it's about being part of it and not running risk of casting judgment or appearing to cast judgment over something you don't really know. Tip number 2 is, if you're a parent of a child who games online, try to get to know who they're gaming with.
Yeah.
Make it a general part of your conversation. You could say something like, I heard you talking to that person earlier, someone from school, do you know that person? And hopefully that should kind of lead into conversation about being safe, being okay. Did it go well?
Yeah, and don't just assume that it's strangers. I think that's the other thing.
Exactly.
Like, I think we learned through COVID as well that actually young people using games and playing online to actually just talk to some of their friends that they don't see during the holidays, or and it might be that their friends are in a different country and they can still communicate with them through that. So I wouldn't just assume it's people that they don't know. It's always worth checking.
Oh yeah.
But I think it's really, don't just make an assumption that they're just playing with random strangers. So yeah.
And the third one is to learn about age ratings.
Okay.
Talk about games that they're playing. Find out about it.
Yeah.
Find out about what the content. Find out about the storyline. Lots of games that have very good in-depth storylines that people want to talk about. Have a look at the Family Gaming Database.
We talked about it last
second week in a row we mentioned it.
We're going to talk about it again. It's really good, and particularly for the summer when you've got more time on your hands. You might have young people that have got more time, they want to game a bit more. It's really good to look at up the games.
And I guess the general rule behind this behind this tip is, I know that I can have a far more meaningful conversation about something if I know about it.
Yeah.
Rather than going into something completely blind. I can actually engage with that topic. And if you're trying to talk to someone about something that they have on the screen, take the time to get to know about the thing that they're playing or watching. So that's 3 tips, but I do have 2-ish bonus ones. 1,
bonus tips
if you are concerned about screen time. So we talked about gaming, but screen time and the amount of time that people spend in front of their screen.
Watching YouTube. Watching YouTube Shorts. Watching TikTok.
Actually, this Instagram. Is something that covers all of that as well, not just gaming.
I don't do that at all.
Search out. Maybe you should get a friend to Google Power Packed.
Okay.
No, Power Up Packed.
Okay.
Link in show notes. Basically, it's about a guided conversation to say, how long is too long?
Okay.
Finally, I think all of this is about being a safe person to have conversations with. If you're a gamer, it's about being a safe person to game with online. If you are a parent, it's about being a safe person to engage in conversations around the game. If you are not either of those things, it's just about being a safe person to get to know.
I think the one thing that I will say is I think don't assume that it's negative. I think we always try and bring it back to positive, but like they could still be learning things. They could, if they're playing games that have subtitles, they're learning to read. We talked about that before. If they're playing games with storylines, they're learning to tell stories, which is really important for childhood and growth. So don't just assume that their gaming habits are negative. It's just about working with them to make sure that they're being safe and they're being sensible and they're not spending every single hour. It's not affecting sleep. It's like it's very much.
It's about the impact on other areas of life.
Yeah.
And at risk of repeating myself, what you mentioned about learning to read, Animal Crossing at the height of the pandemic massively helped my daughter to learn to read for herself.
Yeah, and we've been through this before as well with gaming. And we know that it's not as bad as we think it is. And actually, it can really help young people stay connected to their friends when they're apart as well. And that's really important when you've got 6 weeks where you might not see your friends. And we were chatting about before about lots of young people will be at home again this year because there's not so many people being able to afford holidays and things. And they just can't see their friends. And it's nice to have an area where they can still do that and still meet people even if it is online.
Totally.
So, totally. It's going to be good. Have a good summer, everyone. Enjoy your sunshine and have good holidays. And now it's time for Andy's Game of the Week. Andy, what is your game this week?
Let me take you back.
Okay.
To an innocent time.
An innocent time.
When platform games involved lots of platforms.
Okay.
Going from left to right, right to left, up to down, down to up. Where games where the background would seem to repeat on a oddly regular basis.
Yep. Back in those days.
Back in those days. And a time when a certain kids' TV show had very catchy theme tunes.
I'm not going to ask you to sing it.
Please don't ask me to sing it. If you want to hear it, check out on YouTube. Not me singing it. DuckTales. DuckTales Remastered, to give it its full actual name. I picked it up on a bit of a whim this week, I have to admit.
Yep.
It was only a couple of quid off the Xbox store.
Okay.
Like £2 something. And I was like, well, always looked a bit fun when I was growing up, original version. Let's check this out. Only for a couple of quid. I mean, I know that's how they get you.
Yeah.
And so what is there to say about remastered version of a game that was first released in, are you ready for this?
Sure. When was it first released, Andy? Do I want to know?
1989.
Oh my goodness. Do you want to know how old I was?
I don't know if I want to.
I would have been 2 years old. 2 years old. Let's not ask Andy how old he would be.
Okay, not a lot older, but old enough for me to feel
old?
Mildly older.
Do you remember when it originally came out, Andy?
I think I remember seeing it on TV back in the day when kind of video games had were reviewed on cinema TV and things like. We are so massively digressing down some sort of nostalgic. Anyway, it's a pretty version of an old game.
Okay.
It looks like there's been a few tweaks made.
Yeah.
Difficulty wise, it's fine. In that old games used to sometimes be a little bit more difficult than it could be now. It's not classic 80s Nightmare, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
So, unless because you want it to be, you can increase the difficulty settings. I've got this horrible habit of lowering difficulty settings because I like to enjoy the time I have playing.
You don't want it to be too hard for you, Andy?
Really not.
Okay.
It's a pretty game. It's not bad to look at. It's not amazing to look at, but it's not exactly kind of old school 1980s bit graphics.
Yeah.
It looks like a Disney cartoon.
Which is what it is.
Which is, yeah, it is what it is. And they have, where possible, they've had the same voice actors
Okay.
come in
Oh,
to the
that's
voices.
fun.
Which, you know,
Are
having...
they not a bit
Scrooge
older
McDuck-
now?
Well, it's voice acting work.
Yeah.
And it's, again, DuckTales Remastered is not a new game
Yes.
either. So, I don't know when DuckTales Remastered was released, but let's talk about where you can get it from.
Yeah.
Because that will probably answer that question.
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
DuckTales Remastered, available on PS3, Wii U. Yeah, that's right. I said PS3, not
Did you
4.
say
not 5.
PS3?
I said PS3.
What?
I also said Wii U.
Wii
That's all
U.
help.
Wow.
Windows PC, Xbox 360, the Xbox Store, Android, and iPhone.
You can play it on your iPhone. That's fun.
I think you can. I guess you can.
It's like the Mario game that used to be able to play on your iPhone. I think you could still play that.
I think
but
you
it's
can
not
still,
happening.
yeah.
Nice. No,
And often available for just a couple of
yeah,
quid.
nice. And if you're on YouTube, if you're watching us on YouTube, hello, you can see again.
I mean,
the
look
little-
at it. It's so classic.
It looks beautiful.
Kind of jumping up and
Yeah,
down. and
little duck.
Scrooge McDuck.
Yeah, Scrooge McDuck, classic
Yeah.
character. Yeah, and I mean, if you're not following us on YouTube, do have a look and come and join us on YouTube. And that is all we've got time for this week. So yeah, please do find us and follow us on social media at YMCA Exeter and at YMCA Exeter Games. You can definitely find us on YouTube, and if you are doing that, please do comment and like and subscribe. And
I'm now massively distracted by watching.
we will. He's watching DuckTales, and we will see you next week.
See you now.
Bye.